The good part of things were rubbed off when I got raped at 7. The man raped me, Like it was just another day of living then. And he raped me. When he was done, he used a shirt to wipe off everything. Did it hurt? The pain. I cannot explain it. And then from there, did I want to speak? Yes. But then what do I say? How do I explain things that happened? Who do I tell?
Hi guys, I hope you're good. I just want to let you know that I've been trading on Pocket Option for the past month and I'm ready to share my feedback with you guys. And this is the strategy that helped me to make profit. This is the Vortex strategy, which is used for quick trading starting from 5 seconds. This strategy was developed by 2 traders in 2010. The indicators consist of 2 lines, positive vortex line and negative vortex line. So how to set up a vortex indicator? The video tutorial prepared by the team of Pocket Broker guys will help you with this. Register, try different strategies and indicators by using my promo code JUST100 and get 100% bonus on your first deposit. Mmathabo.
Yes, Justy.
How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
You have good energy, hey?
Really? So do you? I think it takes one to see one.
Where you from, man?
Mpahlele, Likurung, Limpopo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's Limpopo that side?
Limpopo ke Limpopo mfana kwafisha. Kwafisha dia war. The only good thing about it is that there's always something going on. Akunetlala fale. One minyanya, one mahu, one di patinyana, one magadi. So I think overall, it's beautiful, peaceful, harmony. It has its own scenery. Outside of the heat wave, there's just some scenery.
The heat wave.
Our fish.
Yeah.
We'd be sweating now if you were there.
Yeah. You have an interesting story that you're about to share with us, but I want us to go back to your childhood. How was it like growing up in the family that you were in?
Just as I was preparing to come here today, I was thinking to myself that, my past is actually far gone in my head now, that some things I've been trying so hard to forget about my past because my childhood triggers some things in me. So it might be distorted what I tell you, but that's what I can remember at this particular moment. Because it wasn't all rosy and gold and juicy. There were hard parts, Hitting a gravel road with the feet, unexpected. It was okay. Just okay. Nothing perfect, nothing fun. That's where the problem also comes in, that I only remember that my parents were there, but then my father was never there because he had to hustle this side in Johannesburg. And a lot of things happened during my childhood, but then it's bad that only the bad I remember. Bobo would say the good part of things were rubbed off when I got raped at 7. Then everything just came falling, because then I activated the survival mode. And yeah, so it was good, but then the bad happened. Then I had to adjust and learn new things. How do I survive? How do I do certain things? Because what is this? How do things happen like this? My mom ticks me off. My father ticks me off. But where does it stem from?
Yeah, I hear you. I had a lady a couple of weeks ago who was raped when she was young, I think 7 years old, by her own dad. And she didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah.
She thought that was normal to her. And she kept on going. And it happened for many, many, many years.
Yes.
I just want to ask you, I know it's a little bit uncomfortable.
It's okay.
When that moment happened, were you aware of what was going on?
I was not aware. It's like innocently coming into studio. When I walked in, everything is okay. Everything feels okay. The air is good. But you get into something, and then what you didn't even think of or expect happens. How would I even explain that? No, I walked into Justy, and then the production, everything was fine, but then this happened. So I went out of my house to go and play where I usually play. That's my dad's cousin's place.
Yeah.
And I get there, I find the older brother, and innocently I was 7. And surprising that you mentioned the lady was also 7 when it happened. He lets me in, fine, innocently. He made tea. Then from there, he just put me on his shoulder. When I know how you carry a baby then.
Yeah.
Then he takes me into the bed. Then the man did what I would call indespicable. Because then he shacked me without my consent, and I was only a child. Then he got done. It was new. What is going on? It hurts. Do I scream? Who do I scream to? How would I explain it? So the blame came before the realization of what happened. Because if I were to scream, how would I explain what was going on? The man raped me, Like it was just another day of living then. We adults, we're consenting adults. And he raped me. When he was done, he used a shirt to wipe off everything. Did it hurt? The pain. I cannot explain it. And then we go back to where we had sat before we had tea. And then after some time, I felt like I should go. I go home. I get there out of place. To sit alone. Then night time comes, the routine that we do daily just went on. And then from there, did I want to speak? Yes. But then what do I say? How do I explain things that happened? Who do I tell? Did I want to say, Rakgadi, wa mo tseba serake? Umpiditse, a nkisha ka moreng. Abantu ba isha fase, a apola boroko. A penis. And I'm forever called out for using kasepedi. Lerete. A thick, long dick. Sounds very offensive for every kasepedi. But then now, I have to explain kasepedi. I can't. In English, penis. The thickness of the issue. Sorry, I'm using the same word. Yeah. Was just as heavy. Because how do I even bring myself to sit down and talk about I'm 7? The only thing I'm supposed to be knowing now is play, eat, sleep. Wake up again, go to school, eat, sleep.
If somebody would bully you at school, you're 7 years old, it's so easy for you to tell your parents, to tell your mom that this is what's happening, somebody's bullying me.
Yeah.
But when somebody's raping you,
you can't, because those things are forever pushed in under a carpet and are closed. You cannot even think that there's someone who can relate to this thing that I went through, that I can go to speak to them, because it's something that we feel like does not exist in our communities, but it's there. So that's why there was no comfort for me to speak out.
Oh, man, how were you able to disclose what happened to you? Did it take you years, or maybe a couple of months whereby you had to come out? Or it only came out, you spoke to your parents after, when you started to realize the meaning of what happened to you?
Do you know the sad part? I had to carry that pain for full 2 years. until it happened again at 9. A different person, part of the family, and not even, how do I say this? I don't think they even planned it to know that this happened to this one so she can be your target. Still, I try to continue with life. Then family is family. You go there and play still. And it happened again at 9, and that's when I realized that there's no way that this can be normal. There ain't no shit like this in this life. So should I speak? Again, where do I start? What do I say? To whom? Then I tried to isolate. Instead of trying to go and play with relatives, just stay home, girl. There's a TV. That's your friend. Just sit there and chill. Many moons later, I still ask myself that. Because for all I know, I was not tweaking my arse to turn them on. I was not making advances. I was a child being a child and trusting to anyone who's older than me. That's one question that I think I will never be able to get an answer to until I have to sit down with them, and then I ask them, why did you do that? Outside of that, there's no one who can answer it for everyone, because everyone is different. The same way that doesn't make sense to you doesn't make sense to my father, because I'm a child in his eyes, but then someone from somewhere comes and sees a woman.
You spoke about your dad not being there. At some point, did he not try to come and intervene?
Intervene how? Because I was not speaking still. Intervene on what? I was a rebel. I rebelled because, trauma, the body never forgets, actually. At this point, I was not calling it trauma. I didn't even know what trauma is. But the body does not forget. So there was hate for male persons, and I thought to myself that, is he one of those? But he never even showed me a sign that he would ever do anything to me like that. He would rather have slapped me if I did something wrong than to say, let's go to bed, let's check. There's never been anything like that. He's never even given me a sign that I should doubt him, But I was not speaking. It was just these things boiling up in me, questions like these phantom things that happen in the mind. Instead of them being out there, being spoken about, they just burning up like a huge turmoil, and they gotta go out anyway. So it was in character, like a change of character. How is she behaving this way? Why is she doing these things? Why? Then the why made me feel like, aren't parents supposed to be like able to speak to their own kids and understand? And like, why are you like this? When they're supposed to be asking me that, and even in a calm manner, because anger on top of anger doesn't resolve. But it never happened, unfortunately. I never got that, and I cannot blame them because they did not know as well,
You speak about trauma. The results of your trauma was anger. And I know trauma comes in multiple ways.
Yeah,
So
many shapes and forms.
Yeah. So my trauma was that my dad used to fight with my mom a lot,
Physical?
Physical, yeah. Sure. And I was sleeping on the other room and I could hear them on the other side. Yeah. And sometimes I would close my ears.
Just so you don't.
Yeah, I don't hear, but it kept on happening multiple times. Later on, I started to hear the same voices of them fighting when I was like in my 20s, so, right? But when was the time for you whereby trauma started to kick in? The anger.
Sorry, I kicked you. Now now you see how broad it is. I think it was when I reached my teens. That I started to feel like speaking out to some friends. Do you know a penis? The weird child. And that's not because you're weird. It's because you're just trying to find out if really these things are normal. Have you seen what I've seen? And like, Ingi, what? It's like, God, no, I was just asking. Then you go away because now, then it's not normal. They're my friends. I play with them all the time. We do homeworks together. we play together, everything we do together, but then this particular thing, they do not relate. So now I was like, it's like for sort of a quest. So I want to find out like what this thing is, like what's really going on. But I wasn't able to get to a conclusion except to say, I think I'm not loved. I'm hated, because why me? Why are all these things happening to me? No one relates. No one in my group page can say that some similar things have happened to them. Then my father, I hate my father. He pisses me off. And my father was just, a rural man who, the only thing that they know, I have to work for my family. The other things, love, play with your kids, those are fun. You see the magazines and movies, it ends there. As long as when they put bread on the table, that's done. Then, when you take the small things that they say and then you make them personal, it's like where it decorates so it fits you, then you say that they hate me. So here's the problem as well. How about this guy just dies and I can live in harmony with my brothers and my mother? That's when the plan, I think it maybe took over a year for me to actually manifest the plan and plan it like thoroughly. Then I think it was around 14, 15. And I thought, this guy must go. Fortunately, God came in, he got ill. Then I thought, yeah, that's it. Now I got him. Then I forged a letter from school. I was conniving then.
Why don't you like your dad so much? Was it because of he wasn't there to stand up for you?
I think that one had 1% that played was there. But the other thing was that his remarks made me feel less loved some more. Then now I thought, even these people are from his family. So actually, I do not think like this guy should be alive. Because also he was the only man, because I had isolated, the only man who was in my life then existing. That I think the hate just went directly to him automatically. So now I hate men, but then first, my father.
So these two men, what they did to you, it resulted in you hating your dad.
Yes.
Because of these two men are from your family's, your dad's
family. Father's family, yeah.
So because of you are not seeing these two men, now when you see your dad,
target,
you were seeing these two men.
Yeah, it was like that. Not in the physical, but then just remember the hate was there. Then you think, okay, I hate Banna. But then my dad, Lowana, isn't he supposed to be like, okay, I was expecting a lot from him. Then he let me down. Because now I was not speaking, but then being a child, like when you're a child, things just register in different ways than you would as an adult, like how you conclude things. Yeah, so the hate just went to him automatically because he was one who was there. Then every little thing that he did that upset me just boiled down to hate. Then I just wanted him dead.
Where was your mom in all this?
Mom was there. Sorry. My mom was there, but my mom is just one of those quiet ones. And parenting, I think now that I'm older, parenting is exhausting. Raising 3 kids is no child's play while you're trying to figure life out yourself. It cannot be easy. She was just there and then providing, and that was it. Like, it was all about providing. If you go to sleep and then you've eaten, you're clean, your school uniform is ironed, everything, that was enough for her. The rest, just like, I need my time, my own time. She did her own things, trying to live her life as well. Yeah.
A lot of things they happened.
Yeah.
And now you never liked your dad because your dad let you down.
Yeah.
But in your mind, you had bottled up so many things.
Yeah.
What happens now?
I go into the school's office while I was schooling, I see a stamp is there. Then I thought to myself, I'm going to go to an intercafe. I'm going to write up a letter that says that I have to get classes, extra fees have to be there in the inn. The goal was to make my family run out of money that they cannot afford his medications. Then eventually he dies. At 15, I was 15. Can someone die from missing a Panado a day? Nobody dies from that, but I didn't know better. It was just anger in action. So I do go to the internet cafe, type up the letter. Then the following day, I go into the office, school stamp, signature, looked at the principal's stuff, then signed it, tried to forge it. Bought an envelope, brown one, give it to my mother. Then that's where the shit just came on, like, whew, on my face. Because the plan did get in order. Was able to get that little money to go and attend. But my father is very suspicious. Like, he's suspicious of everything. Do you see how when you go to Johannesburg, CBD, no one tells you to say, hey, hide your phone, hide your money. You know, anything can happen. You don't even open your phone. So my father his instinct is sharp like that,
Put your phone safe.
Like,
yeah.
So now the phone was not safe anymore. It was like, nah, this girl, she's up to something. And I'm on to her. Then I come back from the supposed school. Says, tomorrow you're going to that school with your mother. And I've been seeing that you're buying stuff. You've done your hair. Just want to see how things goes. Give me your bag. Opens it, finds like similar earrings, like the hoop earrings. Finds a body spray. And it's like, you do know what mahosha is? Like these are prostitutes' belongings. Because how do you wear these hoop earrings? This perfume, what's it for? And I was like, yeah, I've been caught. I'm like, yeah, I don't mind. We can go to that school. But then tomorrow I thought to myself, now I gotta go on a disappearing mission. I'm gonna disappear. And I wake up, I packed some stuff in that same bag, some clothes to wear.
Early in the morning,
because I left, I had to catch the 5 a.m. bus. So I wake up. Then fortunately, my mom was not coming with me. Then I was like, toodaloops, see you on the other side. Oh, being young and wild. I catch the bus. Now the mission is like, fresh air. Now I'm my own person. I can do whatever. I can go party. I can go drinking. I can just be myself. That's when I detached from parents. I just did like one step to many more steps, like a ladder. They just started. So now they're falling off. The rest going up, I'll figure it out. What I do from here, it's on me. And yeah, that's it.
How old were you? 15?
15 years old. And, everything just felt different. The mind is very powerful. It'll forever do anything to protect itself. So even if you're doing something wrong, just tells you that you got this. Plan A, B, C. This fails, fall on this one. Even C fails, you're going to be left alone. That's when you have to go back and rethink. But then, was there time to think there? The streets were waiting, the hooters, the whoosh of cars were calling my name, saying, honey, come here. The streets are waiting. In the afternoon, Lewachom, it's like a township. I'm from the village part of
Limpopo.
Yeah. So now Lewachom, it's like, Tembisa.
Yeah, it's like another township.
Yeah. So everything there, a bus, there's just a bus. And I walk around. I'm still enjoying the air. Freedom. It's just something. Like when you're free, when you feel like you're free from everything, it's like nothing can stop me. I don't have no heart. I don't even have fears. The night, when the sun started to set, it's when reality was like, we are here. We are reality. So why are you going to sleep, madam? Why are you sleeping tonight? There's cars. There's men. There's men. I'm safe. You walk around. So I'm saying that the mind actually generates what awaits the future. When you get into that mode that a man must pick me up, the universe will never fail you. It's like you manifest things. The universe is just forever ready to just say, we'll give it to you. You ask for it. So now a guy picks me up, then one beer, because back then I was still a child. Hunters go there and it's like a drink, then are you excited? Then when the time ends, or once the hunters goes down, honey, there's the bed. You want to rest, right? You're tired. You've been walking all day in the heat wave. So how about we rest? Then it all boiled down to sex now. Then that's where another story starts. I would do like that every single day until I realized that freedom now has left me. That sense has left me. The freshness of air is no longer there, And I got tired. Sex is good. I won't lie. I won't run away from that. But then it was like, now I don't want it anymore. It's just exhausting and meaningless things. Like when something is just meaningless, it just gets exhausting. Everything has to have meaning. But what does a 15-year-old about meaning and things like that? Then things just start getting rough. You just want a bed to sleep, then take a bath. But then sometimes I was not even given a chance to take a bath. Even in the morning when I'm supposed to bounce off back to the streets, I was not allowed to bath. And then everyone needs a bath. The issue of not having water, it hurts the mind in a way. Because now the fatigue, water is life. The fatigue was getting combined in that. And then also the lack of vision. I wanted to go back home, but then now I just had poured petrol on the fire. If I go back home, I still have to explain what happened. Now, I have to live with my decisions. I ain't going back home. I heard that there's Polokwane. Let me just go there. Let me try new avenues. Then took a taxi, go to Polokwane. Did things change? Yeah. In the regard that the air there was faster, like...
Yeah.
Yeah. The walk home was fine, but it was slow, in its own right. But now Polokwane is just beep, 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 woo, woo, woo. Then that's when I was like, is this a life I chose? Then the mind again, because now avenues are new. It's like, we can do this. Remember plan A, B, and C? Let's fall back on. You decided that you want to live in the streets. You don't want to go home? So let's survive, honey. So what you going to do? And I'm going to speak about this for the very first time in my life, in the open. The part of shoplifting. Because clothes must be changed. I could not bring myself to wear one thing over and over and over. Because those that I have wasted them in the war home. So now, new image. Let's change the feel. Shoplift. Change clothes. Walk out of a store. And now I'm thinking to myself, I can't even, if my child walks out with a candy in a store, no matter where you are, I will go and take it back to the store and say it was taken by mistake by a child. Because stealing.
It's wrong.
It's wrong. But then how did I get the guts pick clothes, like you're going to pay for them. Go into the change room, wear them, and then walk out.
Simple.
Simple, just like that.
Without being caught.
Nothing. The only thing, tax, leave them there. Then walk out. To a point that even lip gloss, you'd be able to like feel like it's good. Then glasses, then no. Then that's it.
You were leaving your old clothes into the fitting room?
Sometimes I left them. Sometimes I'll just leave them in my bag. Then I would throw them in the bin because they're dirty. I don't have a place to wash them and things like that. Then, like, wrong things are exhausting. Like, there's just this negative, when you're stuck to a negative side of life, you just get exhausted. That now I'm doing this, but doesn't feel right. And then when things start to not feel right, that's when you should just stop. Because I did get caught eventually. And then they called in the police. And then again, one of the waiting cells, I was put in there. And then you get in there, the first thing I was asked, well, so what did you bring me? What's in that bag? What's in there? Let me check your pockets. Do you have money? Things like that. Then they took them. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened there, but then I got bailed out, got 200 rand. The only concern was that, will this show anywhere else, or will my parents know if I've been arrested before and things? That was my concern. And I said, no, you have to go to court first for things like this or deny what you did. The lady did explain, like, nice lady. Then again, back to the streets. No phone. Now the bag is gone. It's just what I'm wearing. Nighttime comes. I'm tired. The food in there. Is it food? I don't even know what that was. Everything was just distasteful. And then I thought, I have to change location. After a lot has happened, still it was the sleeping with men. For just a roof to sleep under. And then from there to realize that if these men don't even give me a chance to bath, I gotta capitalize. So now I gotta think of myself as really a homeless person, because I can either sell my body or admit that I'm homeless, then sit on the pavement and be a beggar. And I thought to myself, I can't be on the streets and sit down and then beg. So I would just rather walk. Should I get picked up on, then I shall request money, that if I give you this, will you give me money? And honestly, there were decent people that I met. Decent. That would ask, where do you stay? Then I would dismiss those questions. You seem young. Because I think maybe the body, you might be 15, but then you might seem like you're a bit older. You have sense, or you're mature. But those who are decent will be able to say, this one's just a bambino. Then some would just say, no, take the money, it's fine. You can sit, have drinks, listen to music, but then I have to drop you off at home. Then they give you the money then. You get those ones, yeah. There's no way that the door is closed. Now I have to open it for you to leave without you giving me something. Come on. Then you find those people that are like, they can change up now and say, don't make me go crazy. There are those kind of people who are just insane if they choose to be insane. Then that's when I felt like, now I'm exposed, I'm vulnerable. Some things just scare me because I'm still a child, like crying. There's nothing as painful as having sex while you cry. That was a call for me to leave Polokwane, and I did. But was I going home? Do you want to guess?
You didn't go home.
Correct. I went now to a hub that was like near mine, where literally it's known that prostitutes, sex workers, to be politically correct, lived or stayed there. They had their own community. Then someone let me in. I stayed with them, but then I just felt out of place. And the police caught up with me. So I think maybe my parents went and reported the missing person. Then someone maybe saw me there. I don't know what happened there. Then I went back home. It was not nice. I didn't want to go back home, but then now I was back home. My mother had lost weight. She was like the living dead, like dried out. That, you know, the hurt. There's a particular hurt that when someone feels in their heart, they don't even have to say it. They just have to look at you. Then the spirit maybe connects and says, you messed up big time. But then, alang tetisang. No, there was no argument. There was nothing.
What about your dad?
He was this side in Johannesburg.
Okay.
Back then it was just my mom at home. I think he had recovered. The only thing that she said was, what are your intentions? Like, what's your goal? You're doing all those things. What's the goal? Then I went to sleep. I thought to myself, I cannot stay here because the hostility, I think you could break the walls if it had to, because it was just, it was like hard. Then I decided that I'm going to run away from home. Now this time must be permanent because I cannot stay here. Because now I was still not even willing to speak that I decided this, I did this and that because of this and that. I just couldn't. Because still, it laid in the how and the why. But I couldn't. Just wanted to live again. And she woke up, went to work. I packed the bag. 10 times your size.
What?
That bag was big. You know, those trolley bags, like when you put them like this, stand up.
Yeah.
Then like this thick. I filled up with my clothes.
Where were you going?
I don't know. The road was calling my name, and shame was also helping me decide that I want to be gone forever. I ain't coming back here because now it's hostile. I'm not willing to speak. I'm ashamed. My brothers are also just looking at me like, you know, it's like they expect you to be the normal person that you were before you left the house. But then now you've seen the world within a short space of time. There's just things that happened that actually mess up the system of thinking. Like the nervous system has changed. You're just an animal now.
Are you still 15?
I was still 15.
What about school though? You left.
I quit school. And I remember that there was a time my friend told me, because now June came, then they were heading towards the exams. Then my friend was like, it's not too late. Just write your exams at least. And I was listening to her and I was looking at her and I thought to myself, Desiree, are you really telling me to go back to school? I mean, at school I messed up. That thing of taking
the paper, stamp.
And the worst thing was that while I was hanging around the hub where sex workers and prostitutes hung out, I actually met the principal there.
You lie.
I would never lie. You said that you want authenticity. Now I'm being as honest as this dress might be white, but then now it's clear as that.
Did he see you?
You saw me. We actually spoke.
What did he say?
I don't even remember. I know there was greetings, and from there he was with people and I had to move away because of the shame. I was in Rex.
Serious, Joe.
Yeah. So school, I couldn't.
You just felt like everything was...
Everything was just pointless.
Yeah, like you left school, now you're bumping into the same person.
Then now the friends, like now the police, who told the police? Even now still, I'm asking myself, who told the police? Could it have been the principal? But then how would they have known where my parents are? But then if an adult wants to get connection to someone and you're a student there, they can make means. But I even tried to avoid thinking about that because I think there's some parts that are just altered in my story, or that I think of every day, that everything now goes by importance. Some are irrelevant, or some are just too shameful for me to be like, You actually did this, girl. You did this. So think about it. Like, what were you thinking? Let's go back step by step. No rush. It's like, I know shit. You run away from it. So I don't know, it'll take another lifetime for me to actually make peace some things and come to terms with them and actually make them make sense to me. You know?
So you ran away. Your dad was not there.
He was not there.
Before he came back, when you're gone.
Remember the back part, I dragged it. You know, the village is dusting. There was no shame, like carrying a big bag then, walking towards the main road. And it was slow, like there, you know, a day, the tower, like the taxis. Outside of that, bus, did I even have money on my pockets to say I'm going to use it to transport myself? Nothing. But then I had the balls to actually drag that back from my house to the main road. And while I was waiting there, my mother came running. Some things, they just gave superhero vibes, but then she was flying on feet, running then. She asked me, Mmathabo, why would you so? Again, someone told on me, you know, someone actually made the call. They saw me there, they said, yeah, let's call to say, your child is edit. I didn't even think thoroughly of it, but then I knew that I would get where I'm going. Where I'm going, I don't know. But then it's not my home, wherever I'm going to. So it's fine.
Did your mom manage to stop you?
She did. And she tried to carry the bag. It was heavy. Heavy, like so heavy that she actually had to say stop here and go ask for a wheelbarrow. Then we wheeled back home. And then that's when my aunt stepped in and said, I'm going to take her in. I want to help her. I would really love to help her. There's something really off. That was before my father came back home. So then I came this side to live with my aunt, Stefina. That woman tried. You know, you can never know God if you don't know yourself. You can never be told that there's God and believe it if you don't fully understand truly who you are. My aunt did take me to church, many churches, Sawasho, Holy Water,
ZCC.
Holy Vasily, particularly ZCC, but I think you understand the gist of it. It was just from church to church, all in the name of trying to help me and understand what's really wrong, because I was still not speaking. I was not willing to speak. I've bathed with every water. Even tattoos, apparently they were evil. That bio oil that was paid for to remove the tattoo, I used it. And at some point I did feel like now, although it's not working, but then the spirit, you know, when it's touched a bit, something small gets ignited, then you can also make sense of some things and realize that everyone is trying. So what exactly are you doing? Yeah. What was I doing, Vel, to help the situation? I can't even remember if I put in my whole effort into try to become a better person. Just as I'm speaking too much now.
No, you're not. This is your story.
Okay.
But just to move on a little bit further, what made you to come out and speak?
Therapy at church made me feel like I am whole, like I'm whole. But then also, if I did all these things that are so embarrassing, what's the worst that could happen if I spoke the truth? Then instead of speaking, I started to write bit by bit. Was writing and writing. And I realized still, I need to speak. Then I started with my other aunt. There was misbelief. They didn't believe me. Then I spoke to my mother. They didn't believe me. Spoke to my father. They didn't believe me. And that's when I felt like I went straight running into a concrete wall and it hit. And I was like, why am I trying so hard to be believed? It happened. Even the perpetrators know that it happened. If they don't believe me, then is it my problem? Is it a me problem? That's when the questions came. Then I started to feel like suicidal. I did many things to try and unalive myself. But God just said to me, or whatever the spirit is, or the universe, speak your truth first, then decide if you want to unalive yourself. Because at least you leave people with something to hold on and say that this had happened before she did this. And I think that's when I wrote the book. Say, if I do unalive myself, at least I'll be leaving them with something. But then, as things went on, I realized that nothing's supposed to be perfect. Bad things happened. I reacted. But you gotta speak as a person. It doesn't matter even who you speak to. Even if you find a homeless person, they're just chilling there. If you're going through a lot, just sit down with them and just speak. After that, then leave. The effect of just taking something out of you, it's very important. And I had to go through all this many things. There's a lot that happened when I was in the street. Some that broke me. Even today, I'm just still trying to find a mold to say this one I have to close up, because you never come back from that. Experience is experience. And trauma has a build-up. It just molds itself in a way that you'll think it defines you, or because now it's just a story, it's you, but then you gotta lay it out. There's nothing as important as truth.
The truth shall set you
free. And then the kind of freedom is not the one that I got when I got into the freedom. The freedom of speaking is I'm actually a child. I might be growing by age, but I'm still a child. So be like a child. Why are you carrying all these burdens? They don't even belong to you. Did you ask for what happened? No. Did you have to survive? You had to. And then you're here now. Now change the narrative.
Do they believe you now?
They do, and now it's not of any significance. Because we are so busy with our own lives. We get absorbed by it that now we're here speaking, but some things will just pass the head. Not because you want to, but because we're just occupied beings. We are occupied. And that's why do not let the external to actually tell you who you are or allow them to define you, because some things are just there. Someone has to go through it so that there's prevention, no matter the shame, no matter, Now that we speak, I'm still remembering when you smell, that even when you do like this, it's like, shit, man, did you open the garbage bin or something? Yeah. But then still, I would find myself still trying to find a man who can say, take a bath. But then some, they're just that wild that they do not even care. Now, it's a far gone memory. But now, like, truly, who am I? How can I use myself to help others, Because the story does not start with me. There's nothing new under the sun. And surely doesn't end with me. There's another Mmathabo somewhere. Some is being made now. Someone is existing now. So it's insane. But rape changes everything. But aren't you want to ask what happened to school?
Did you go back to school?
I did go back to school.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I'm a graduate in transport and logistics.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
So after everything that happened,
I went back to
you
school.
went back to school?
Yeah.
And then you graduated?
I graduated.
Look at you.
Yeah. Self-employed. Found a good man who loves me. Everything just changed. Yeah. And I realized God has humor. Only his humor is not like ours, where we speak, we're able to make jokes.
Yeah.
God is like, I will spin you up until you throw up. Then I'll clean you up. Then you can show up again, And yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you smiling.
I can't help it, man. God is good. God is good. God is good. You just have to zimba, like just give up. They say, God, again, just take me over and feed me, clean me up. I want to be different.
Just to wrap it up, there are so many women out there that are being raped every day, which is scary. And some of them, they're watching this and they haven't came out. And they're going through similar traumas that you went through. What would you say to them?
Speak. Lose yourself and just imagine yourself being alone. Then speak. Go public if you have to. Find solace in fellow sisters. Just speak. What the other person says, they come, they say whatsoever, it does not alter your truth. It does not change it. Don't even be scared to be judged. You're supposed to be judged. It's different. And how many people are actually going through that and are quiet? Your light is there. Make it like a candle. When yours is on, the others can be on as well. Then from there you can see, things will just change you. And the best that you would get is for that person who did whatever they did to come out and say, I did do it. I'm sorry. Or someone comes in and says, it also happened to me. It's the same person. Support. You're going to get all the support. Speaking out, there's nothing wrong with speaking out. Just make sure that it's the truth. It changes you. Truth changes a person. Just speak. No matter how shameful. No matter what really happened. If you were drunk or you feel like those things, it comes with self-blame. But then just speak. And sometimes not even for you. But for the sake of truth.
How can people find your book?
Well, I'm self-distributing. I'm more Mmathabo on all social medias. And if it happens, I'm willing to give out 5 copies for free to anyone who needs it.
Your number?
0111 235. So are you going to call me to order the book? Because yours you have to buy. No. Yours is for free.
Yeah.
It's like you getting one, you're settling out the 5 for free to others.
I'll get one for free.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to pay for it, So that's your number?
That's my number.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No stress. Thank you so much for your time. Your story is very inspiring, motivating, uplifting. You left school, went into the street, came back, went back to school, finished. Now you're a graduate, working, earning good.
Self-employed. Don't say working. Self-employed.
It's still good? Still good, by the way. That's still good. It's better than being employed. But thank you. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're
your
most
story.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for hosting me.